Hello everyone, welcome to this lecture series on computer system architecture. This is the first lecture of this subject, and in this lecture we would discuss some of the basic concepts and terms related with the subjects. So let us get started. The contents that we would cover in this lecture are: we would discuss the relevant books, we would discuss what is a signal, we would also look at the different types of signals, and we would also explain some of the basic terminology related with the subject. So now let us see the books that we would be using. First one is M. Mano Computer System Architecture. The other one is Digital Design M. Mano. The third one is W. Stallings Computer Organization and Architecture Designing for Performance. And section A has also material from RPG and Modern Digital Electronics. So the first topic is what is a signal. So when we hear the word signal, the first thing that comes to our mind is an electrical signal, a sound signal, a voltage signal. So what is a signal? I would explain this with the help of the diagram. You can see here that on the x-axis we have time and on the y-axis we have voltage. So at different instances of time, we have different value of voltage. So now let us look at the definition. It says it is a variation of a physical quantity, voltage or current with time. You can see here at this instant of time, the value of voltage was this much. Here at this instant of time, the value of voltage was this much. And at this instant of time, the value of voltage was this much. So there is a physical quantity, in this case it's voltage, and it's varying with time. So this is called a signal. So now let's look at the different type of signals. Signals can basically be divided into two types. One is the analog signal and the other one is the digital signal. So to understand analog signal, let us consider, for example, we have voltage level between 0 and 5 volt. And if someone measures the voltage, what would be the values he would get? He would get any value between 0 and 5. It could be 1.125689. It depends upon the precision. It could be 2.32. It could be 2.3568. Or it can be any value between 0 and 5. It can even be 4.11.
An analog signal is a continuous signal and it can take any value in the limited range. Here the limited range was between 0 and 5, and it is a continuous signal and it is taking any value. So such a signal is called an analog signal. The next signal is a digital signal. So to explain a digital signal, you can take example. For example, when you get your mark sheet, your marks are, it can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 50, but it can never be 40.92, right? Because you can just have some discrete values for marks, right? Here in mark scale, it can be between 0 to 100, right? So similarly, what is a digital signal? The definition says that in this, information is represented by variables that take limited number of discrete values. In case of marks, it was 0 to 100, right? So in computers, we use two discrete values which are 0 and 1, and these are called binary numbers. Computer just understands 0 and 1. Here in the diagram also you can see that on the x-axis we have amplitude, and on the y-axis we have amplitude, and on the x-axis we have time. And the amplitude is either 1 or it is either 0. It is not 0.25, right? So computer works on 0 and 1, and this is called digital signal, right?
Now we would discuss the last topic, which is the basic terminology that would be used in this course. The first one is computer organization. It basically deals with how the hardware components operate, and we assume that to be in place, and the task is to see whether they work as intended. To explain this, I would like to give you an example. For example, if you have to make a car, initially you would say that I need 4 tires, I need some wires, I need an engine, I need a fuel tank, or some other material that you require. And then you would say that if all these uh, parts are interconnected, the car would work fine. Then you would give this specification to the designer, and he would make the car. Once the car is made, it would be sent to the end user, and he or she would use the car, and the user would be concerned with just the functional modules. Like, the user might ask that what is the fuel capacity, what are the number of gears in the car. In the same way, computer organization is concerned how the hardware components operate, and it assumes that everything works fine and as intended. Then in computer design, it basically deals with the hardware design, and once system specification are formulated, it develops the hardware of the system, and in the end, the computer architecture is concerned by structure and behavior as seen by the user. This brings to the end of the lecture. Thanks and have a good day.